Hi everybody, this is a session to help you get started on your new track. Or if you've already started on a new track, help you get some fresh ideas. I'm going to be referring to this ebook which comes from Ableton, and it used to cost a lot of money, but now during this season they've made it available to everybody free for download, and I'll give you the link. It's got a lot of creative strategies for electronic music producers like us, 74 to be precise. I'm jumping over to page 12. The problems of beginning. And here they suggest 3 ways to start. Because the problem is you're staring into a new empty project in your software and you have no idea how to begin. So here are 3 ideas to help you get going. Now, you have to understand that you have to get started. What you create doesn't have to be the most perfect piece, because it's going to take many tries. It's going to take lots of false starts, but you have to get started, because it's when you get started that you can get over the ones that you didn't like, and then you get to the one that you do like. And who knows, you could get lucky, and maybe the first one you create is something that you do like. So here are some ideas. Number 1, start with the foundation. Number 2, start with what you hear. And number 3, start with what you know. So let's go through this one by one. First, we're going to start with a foundation. And here, the foundation that I've chosen is a pack that comes free for every Ableton Live user, all the way down to Ableton Live Intro and Ableton Live Lite. So you can download for free the Chop and Swing pack. If you don't know how to do it, go to Packs, and when you scroll down to the bottom of Packs, for me I've got a lot because I'm an Ableton certified trainer. You may have just a few, but when you click on Available Packs, you'll be able to choose which ones to download and install, and automatically it will appear here for you. So I'm going to Chop and Swing, which is very nice grooves, and these are a great way to get started. Don't worry about the fact that it's already pre-made. It's a great way to get your ideas moving, and after that you can build on it. You can choose to keep it, or you can choose to get rid of it. So here is a groove. Okay, that sounds pretty okay. Let's see what we can do. We drag it on, and there's an entire groove ready for you. I've stretched it over 8 bars, and when I highlight the bar and I choose loop the selection, basically I've got this loop button on, and now it will loop around while I add the next thing, which is to add a bass. The great thing I like about packs is that in this Chop and Swing pack, it also comes with sounds, so I can choose a bass that fits. So in the various basses, you can scroll through them. I'm going to choose the grey panel bass, and I know for sure that the grey panel bass will fit this drum because it's all in the same pack. So I drag it onto the second track, and now I'm going to highlight these 8 bars, right click and insert MIDI clip. I've got an 8 bar loop here. Here's where we think, okay, how do I get started? Well, the simplest thing you do is for the bass, I want to scroll down until I get to C1, and then I just put on a C. And I'm going to have 4 chords. So in C, the reason why I chose C is that basically you play with the white notes. So after C, maybe I'll just put F for another 2 bars, and D for another 2 bars, and then this was an F, sorry, use E, drag it up, and then G, just because they're white notes. Now this is going to be a bit of a boring bass line, right? Just dom, 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 dom. So I'll make it move by itself. I'll go to MIDI effects, I'll go to arpeggiator, and I'll drag an arpeggiator over onto channel 2, which means I have an arpeggiator that looks like this. It's basically doing nothing. This is the default. What does it sound like? Okay, so it's not really doing much. I'm going to add in a set of keys. So here I'm going to go back into the pack again, and under the sounds, instead of choosing a bass, I'll choose synth keys, and let's choose something like the pizza plug. Drag it onto a new track. And what notes am I going to play? Why don't I just copy this and paste it on? Now the thing is that it's too low. These notes are in C1 and bass. So I'm going to move them up using shift arrow to C2 then C3. Okay, but they're just plain notes. So how do I make them do something interesting? I'm going to go to MIDI effects, and I'm going to choose a chord. I'm going to choose a chord function, drag it over here, right? Sorry about these should not be here. Okay, chord. I'm going to make it a minor chord. So trust me, the first one should be 3, the second one should be 7, and the last one third one should be 12. Okay, so 3, 7 and 12 gives me a minor chord. And to make sure that it stays in C minor, besides the chord, I will also add in a scale. Drag in C minor scale. This means I'll now have a chord. So instantly I've got a beat, I've got a bass line, and I've got some chords running. If you need to review, you can always watch the part of the video again. That's using method number 1, just building from scratch. And you can use any chords, so long as they're in the right key. So this is one way of getting an idea started. No idea where this will lead us. You get ideas on top of this, but it's meant to be an idea for you to get started. Now, let's look at method number 2, which is what you hear. And when it's referring to what you hear, I want to suggest that you can use samples. What I've done is I've recorded with my phone the noisy air conduct. And this is what the sample sounds like by itself. I'm going to solo it. So this in itself, it gives me ideas. Maybe I can put it together with the music. Or maybe not. Basically, I said, maybe I won't use the bass. Maybe I just use the beat. Maybe I'll create a new MIDI track and I'll put in an instrument like the simpler. Then I can take this sample and drag it on to simpler, and immediately I've got an instrument. So let's see what it would sound like if I had what notes I could put here. I'm going to copy these notes here just for the heck of it. And I always like to put in arpeggiator. Let's try putting in arpeggiator, one of these existing ones. Bouncy chords. Or I could put it on slice. If I slice this, and I slice it, say, by beat, what would it sound like? So you see, there's lots of different ideas I can experiment with, right? Some of these might be non-musical, some of them might be musical. It's just to spark ideas. What about number 3? Number 3 is start with what you know. So if you have an instrument like a piano, you can record it into Ableton. Or if you have a guitar, you can record it to Ableton as well. Because if you click on this and your microphone is on, basically everything can be recorded in. Now, how does that help you? What if you don't have any instruments? What if you just have your voice? This is something interesting. Okay, that was really bad. But it's recorded my voice. I'm going to right click and I'm going to do convert melody to new MIDI track. Then I'm going to mute this terrible singing of mine. And now I've actually got the melody here. Now basically this means I could basically sing whatever I wanted to sing. Sing whatever I wanted to play. I don't even need to know the notes. I didn't know I was singing this, but it has actually spotted the notes for me. And it's not perfect, but hey, it's ideas. So these are 3 different ways to get ideas. And let's recap what they were. Number 1, start with the foundation. Start with something basic like a beat, bass line, simple chords. Number 2, start with what you hear. If you hear something around you, like a sample, drop it into the music. Work around that. Number 3, start with what you know, like recording a physical instrument or even just your own voice, and use convert melody to MIDI. So think of trying one of these ideas one of these three ideas, or maybe all three, and see what you come up with. I'm looking forward to hear what you do.